from the last exercise that we just did, where you were visualizing your desired future self and your feared future self, you should have identified at least one small habit that is going to make the biggest difference in your life. If you were to put this habit on repeat every single morning for the next month, year, 10 years, it is going to help you end up in the life that you want to be living. It's going to help you end up becoming the person that you want to be and need to be in order to be living that life. So we're going to take this small habit now, and we're going to engineer it into your morning. And we're going to leverage a few different concepts here. Right? One is this idea of habit stacking. Right? Maybe you've heard this. James Clear popularized it in the book Atomic Habits. But it's this idea that we're going to take some existing habit that you already do consistently in the morning, and then we're going to use that as an anchor for this new habit. And so I'm going to suggest one thing here as an example. Feel free to give it a shot. All right. We are going to take the existing habit of waking up to your alarm clock. Now, we've already talked about some of the dangers of having phones in bed, near bed. There's so many reasons that can be really, really disruptive, not only to your sleep, but to your productivity as well as your mental well-being. All right. However, right, I want to acknowledge the reality that so many of us use our phones as alarm clocks. And so if you're one of those people, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to then take advantage of this functionality, specifically the snooze button. So a little side note, right? Why is the snooze button only 9 minutes? Have you ever thought about that? Where does this come from? It's kind of a little interesting piece of history. The snooze button was first created in the mid-1950s when General Electric released like this brand new alarm clock, and they were advertising, has this snooze button, right? Wakes you up, lets you go back to sleep, wakes you up again. What a wonderful idea. In reality, it's not all that great, yet so many of us, all right? Some research showed that up to 50% of people admit to using their snooze button almost every single day. All right. So again, I'm trying to be super realistic here, not trying to overhaul every single aspect of your morning, taking things that you're already doing and improving upon them incrementally. So instead of hitting your snooze button and rolling over and going back to sleep, all right, what we want to do is we want to leverage that first 9 minutes to do something that is going to move you towards that desired future self, specifically that behavior that is going to help you get to where you want to go. Now, all right, in that 9 minutes, again, you've identified some small behavior that you can do. Consistency is key. All right, we're going to leverage another thing. Sometimes they call it the 2-minute rule. Again, now we're going to call it the 9-minute rule. Right? The idea is that we can start with this small, manageable action. All right, another concept of what they sometimes refer to as eating the frog, starting your day with the most challenging task ahead, the thing that you might be avoiding, the thing that you are most likely to procrastinate upon. If you can begin your day with that activity, all right, doing it in those first 9 minutes, all right, that is going to dramatically change the tenor of your day, because then all of a sudden you're not worrying about, doing that thing all day. It's not going to be occupying all of this mental bandwidth. It's not going to be draining you. It's not going to be looming overhead in the future because you've already done it. It frees you. And then in doing so, it actually helps build momentum by creating these micro wins where then you feel good about what you've done. You've accomplished something. So you're proud of yourself. You build your confidence. So then you feel better. And then it makes it even easier to wake up the next morning and also do something challenging that's going to move you in the direction that you want to go. So I'm a huge fan of tackling some of the biggest, most ambitious things in your day very first thing. Now, again, the key here, though, is we need to break it down into a bite-sized chunk that can be done in 9 minutes. Right? So the idea now is when your alarm clock goes off, you are going to hit the snooze button, but you're going to get up out of bed and you are going to immediately go into doing this activity or behavior that you have identified that's going to help you become the person you want to become. Right? And you're going to do that until your alarm clock goes off again after those 9 minutes. And then guess what? At that point, you can either continue doing that activity if you find that you have entered into a bit of a flow state where you're enjoying it, or you can pause and then go on to some of the other behaviors and things that we've talked about, and we'll cover in a few moments some of the other activities that you can be engineering into your morning. But this is one really powerful way, all right, in which there is a built-in trigger to start this behavior, which is your alarm going off. All right, then you've got this 9-minute block to do this behavior. Alarm goes off again, where you can then pause and then reach completion. So then the question for you is, okay, what is this thing I can do for 9 minutes that is going to be most helpful for moving me towards the day and the person that I want to become?